right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Elizabeth Plosnick. I'm the Manager of Grassroots Advocacy here at NAC. And welcome to our National Health Center Week Picture and Video Contest webinar. I'm joined today by my colleagues Dorian Wanzer and Alex Harris, and we will be taking you through the ins and outs of the contest, tips and tricks, how you can participate, timeline, all that good stuff. So stay tuned for some good information, and we'll go ahead and get started. Before we jump into the content of the webinar, I do want to thank our two sponsors for this year's contest. Welch Allyn is sponsoring the picture contest, and NextGen is our sponsor for the video contest. And we are joined today by Ryan Raymond from Welch Allyn to talk a little bit about their work.
Thanks. I want to go ahead and thank you all for having us on today, and a special thanks to community health centers. Welch Allyn is very committed to supporting our population health with smart technologies that improve our patient outcomes, and we're really excited about the strategic partnership that we have with community health centers, and especially for Community Health Center Week. One of the interesting things we've developed is a really great platform that we call Vision for All. Vision for All is a rallying cry to really help us to eradicate some of the most preventable causes of blindness, and we have two great products that we're really excited to introduce and hopefully be able to share some of these solutions with you down the road. And these products are great for pediatric vision screening, which is our Spot Vision screener, which screens for amblyopic risk factors in children. And then also we have a diabetic retinopathy camera, which is preventing some of the leading cause of blindness in working age adults by early detection of any conditions. So again, Vision for All is a great platform. We hope that you'll be able to explore further what these solutions can be for community health, for population health. And again, Welch Allyn is excited to work alongside with Community Health Center Week, and we look forward to more communications and collaboration in the upcoming weeks and months.
Sounds good. Thank you, Ryan. We look forward to working with you guys on Health Center Week. So our overarching theme for this year's Health Center Week is Celebrating America's Health Centers, Innovators in Community Health. And so that's a theme that we started at the Policy and Issues Forum earlier this year, back in March, and it will continue through Health Center Week, through the rest of our conferences this year, and really through the end of 2016. So we encourage you to incorporate the theme into the events that you're planning. Innovations like how you're addressing a specific community need, how you are thinking creatively about solving workforce challenges or budget shortfalls, any of that, things that you are really doing to innovate at your health centers, we encourage you to incorporate into your Health Center Week events. As you may recall from years past, we do focus on special populations during Health Center Week, but this year we have theme days for every single day of the week, which is really exciting. And if you haven't already nailed down all of the specifics of your event, you're encouraged to use these themes to help guide the planning of your event. Sunday, we'll be focusing on workforce. Monday, we'll be focusing on health screenings. I can tell you at the national level, we'll be focusing a lot around our partnership with the American Cancer Society. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are those traditional special populations days, public housing, healthcare for the homeless, and farm worker health. On Friday, we're focusing on protecting public health. At the national level, again, we'll be focusing on emergency preparedness, things like Zika and Ebola. And then on Saturday, the highlight is enabling services. So keep those themes in mind, and you'll see social media posts and other things from NAC on the national level around these different themes each day. And if you have the opportunity to focus some of your events during these theme days, that's great. If not, just know that those are what we're focusing on this year. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague Alex Harris to talk about why we celebrate Health Center Week with pictures and videos.
To talk about this topic because each year during Health Center Week, not only are there thousands of events across the country that highlight the amazing work that health centers are doing, but we get to see some of that in action through a lot of the videos and pictures you guys create. And I think the contest is a really fun way every year to be able to highlight some of the good work you guys are doing at your health centers. So if you're wondering, like you're kind of new, you haven't really participated in the contest before, and you don't really understand what the purpose is, it's great national promotion for health centers. It really gives us some awesome content that we can promote online, nationally, through at our conferences, through our presentations. So you'll see in this blue box, where do we use the pictures and videos. We have them on our national website, the Campaign for America's Health Centers, as well as our Health Center Week website. We post them on Facebook and Twitter. We have one of the prizes that we'll talk about a little bit about later is a Health Centers calendar with all of the pictures featured. We put them in our PowerPoint presentations for when we go to conferences and when we talk to folks about any policies or advocacy initiatives we're working on. So it's a really great way for us to promote the work that you guys are doing on a national level, and of course for you to promote your own health center. And as they say, of course, a picture is worth 1,000 words, so you can write up all day about all the work that you do, but if you have a really solid picture that captures the true spirit of the work you do at your health center and how you celebrate National Health Center Week, it does wonders. And the way that we know, you guys have been on our advocacy webinars before, we talk about how do you really influence people and get them to buy into your cause. You know that emotion and that human connection is the best way to influence people. So there's really nothing better than a good picture or a good video with a good story to showcase the work that you're doing. And so why should you participate? It's just amazing promotion for your health center. You're able to get your name out there, not only nationally, but also just more so in your community. And one of the ways that you can do that is through the voting process. And we'll go through all the ins and outs of that process in a little bit. But I think that asking people to vote for your picture or your video so that you can win a prize for your health center and get the promotion that you deserve is a great way to engage your community. It's a really easy ask. People can vote on Facebook or on our website. But it's a good way for them to show their support for your health center and to get them involved. And we can talk a little bit more about how some health centers have been creative about getting votes, but you'll see on the left, this is our picture contest grand prize winner from last year, Nuestra Clínica del Valle. So huge shout out to that team and Christian Munoz specifically at their health center based out of Texas. They got over 2,700 votes last year. That's huge. That's bigger than, like some of the people that read our email once in a while. It's just a huge number of people to vote for their picture. And so we were really excited to hear that they were able to leverage and include the community and the work they're doing. So Christian Center has won in the past 2 years. They've won the grand prize. And they need a little bit of competition. So they've already started thinking about their picture. They've already started thinking about how they're going to drive people in their community to vote. So this is just a big plug to please give Christian and Nuestra Clínica a little bit of competition. They'll take it, and I think it's just a really fun way, again, to compete for such a good cause. And, of course, the picture is going to show the pride and the work that your health center does, and I think that's the #1 thing, just to be able to showcase how proud you are of some of the stuff you do at your center. So how do you participate? What are some of the rules? So first, obviously, you need to take a picture or a video. You have to do something that means something to you. Obviously, we want it to represent your health center. It should showcase the amazing work that you do. It can showcase what you're working on in National Health Center Week. We love videos that show any advocacy your health center is doing. If you've got a big stack of petition signatures or advocacy cards, or you're working on our campaign 100K in 100 days, and you can take a picture of people recruiting advocates at one of your Health Center Week events. We love stuff like that because it really highlights the innovative work that health centers are doing. So keep in mind a couple of things. First, a picture can be a photo or a drawing. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a picture that you took on a camera or your phone. If you have a drawing, if you're an artist or you know somebody in your community who likes to draw in their spare time and they want to draw something depicting the work that your health center is doing, then I think that's an awesome thing that you should consider submitting. We've had some pictures in the past. They have to be in landscape orientation because that's how it fits into your calendar. So if you're taking pictures on your iPhone, it's really tempting to be able to just put it up there and take a quick pic, but try to turn the camera over and do it in landscape because that's how it fits into our calendar. Your video has to be less than 3 minutes. We put it at 3 minutes because if you go on YouTube, you'll see, you know, most videos are about that size, and it's helpful. It's helpful to be able to really increase engagement. And then you cannot use a professional to take your picture or create your video, unfortunately. So if you're wondering, hey, can I hire somebody, you know, or hey, my friend is a professional videographer and he's going to volunteer his services, that's unfortunately not okay. It has to be somebody who doesn't have experience as a professional videographer or photographer. And if you're not sure where the line is with that, or it's a little bit of a fuzzy area, I just recommend that you reach out. And then some other things to keep in mind, you need some release forms. So if you're taking a picture of somebody, their face or an individual, especially if it's a patient and they're in the walls of your health center, make sure you get them to sign a release form, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. So then you have to submit it. So make sure to submit up to 1 picture and 1 video sometime during the month of August. So the contest runs August 1st through 11:59 p.m. on August 31st, and we're pretty strict about that. So don't wait until 11:55 on August 31st and then find out that your Wi-Fi is slow or your internet's just acting up. Just, you know, go ahead and get it submitted as soon as you have your picture or video. You can submit it at healthcenterweek.com. And so you have to use the online form to submit your picture or video. So that's the only way to submit something. If you're having issues with it, like I said, try to get it in a couple of days early and reach out to us so that we can help you. And then make sure you include all the required components of the submission. We do request just a brief description of your picture or video. It can literally just be a sentence. And of course, we need your information as the submitter and your health center name that you're doing this on behalf of, and any other information you think would be relevant, and then your release forms if that's required. And so there can only be 1 person to submit 1 video and or 1 photo. So you know, if I decide, you know, I want to take a picture and a video and submit both of them to the contest, that's fine, but I cannot submit 2 photos and 2 videos or 3 photos and 3 videos. Your health center, however, can submit multiple photos and videos, but they have to be on behalf of separate individuals. So if you have like 5 amazing pictures that have been taken, you know, in various places at your health center recently, and you want to have 5 separate people submit those pictures, that's fine, but it cannot come from 1 person only. So we get, I think we try to keep the process pretty simple, but we do have to have some strict rules because there are some pretty awesome prizes in store, which we'll get to in a minute. But we get a few questions pretty regularly that I want to cover. And please know that at any point, you know, as you're planning your contest submission and you have a question and you're not sure about something, that's what we're here for, the whole grassroots team. Feel free to reach out to us and we're happy to help. So when do you need to use a release form? So if you're seeing this picture, this is an awesome picture taken by Pam Kinder up in Connecticut, United Community and Family Services. And this would not require a release form because there are no people in this, so that's a pretty obvious one. If there is a large crowd and you can't necessarily make up anybody's individual face or features, you couldn't identify a person from that crowd, you probably don't need a release form, but if you're kind of in doubt, feel free to run it by us. If you have usually public speakers at public events, you don't really need a release form, although it's not a bad idea to get one just in case and get their permission. If it's staff, a lot of people have some sort of clause in their staff policy about staff being in pictures to promote the health center. When it's staff, I just request that you just ask us and we talk about it because we just want to make sure we cover all our bases. And then obviously if you're taking a picture of a patient, or especially a child, and their face is pretty prominent, make sure you get that person to sign a release form. That's really important. And you have to submit those release forms with your submission for it to be qualified. We talked about this briefly, but can I hire a professional to create a video for my health center and submit that? No, unfortunately, you can't. We definitely recommend that you create promotional materials for your health center. If you want to hire a videographer, we're happy to, give you a shout out on Facebook or Twitter for that video, but unfortunately, it will not qualify for the contest. And then we don't get this question in a ton, but I have gotten it before. My son would like to participate. Is he eligible? So anybody really is eligible to participate in the contest. You don't have to be a staff member at a health center. You can just be a supporter. You can be a son of a staff member. That's totally fine. You have to designate your health center of choice because you're supporting your local health center, but you don't necessarily have to work there. Now, if you are under the age of 13, you are going to need your parent to sign a consent form to allow your submission for the contest. But otherwise, I think it's a great idea. A lot of people have like kids coloring contests and poster drawing contests during National Health Center Week. And if any of those are things that you want to submit on behalf of your health center, you should definitely do so. Get their permission and request that they submit that to the contest. So what happened next? Who wins? How do we decide who wins? All that fun stuff. You've gotten your photo, you've gotten your video, you've submitted them, you have all of your release forms and everything checked off. Now there is the whole next step of this process where we sort of determine who the winners are. So we get a couple of hundred, actually more than a couple hundred these days, hundreds of pictures submitted to the contest and quite a few videos submitted. And we're hoping to keep increasing those numbers, so encourage your colleagues and friends and families to participate. But we have to whittle it down in some way because we do have a voting process, and we try to keep that voting process as simplified as possible. So we at NAC, we get some feedback, and we announce 25 picture finalists and 10 video finalists. So this is based on, again, did you meet all of the criteria? Did you get all your release forms that you needed? Did you submit in the window of submission? You submitted on time. You submitted in the right way online using our online form. Is your video under 3 minutes? Is your picture landscape format? All of those things. We go through all that checklist, and then we put 25 pictures and 10 videos, and we put them up on our website and on Facebook and YouTube. And then those finalists are released on Tuesday, September 6th. So watch for your email. If you find out that you are a finalist, then that means you've got to start rallying your troops and really getting people to vote, because the voting process, let me tell you, is really competitive. So we will choose from there, the voters will choose from there 1 grand prize picture winner, 1 grand prize video winner, 11 picture runner-ups, because we'll be putting their pictures in a calendar, and 1 video runner-up. So your rules for voting, you can vote for your favorite picture, you can vote for yourself, that's totally fine. You as an individual cannot vote more than once. And there are 2 ways to vote. You can vote by going online or by on our website and voting, or you can like this photo or video on the Campaign for America's Health Center's Facebook page. So all of that will become available, again, like I said, on Tuesday, September 6th. And so you're going to want to not only vote yourself for your submission, but really encourage people at your health center and your community to vote for that submission as well. And like I said, it's a fun way to get people to show their support. So the good stuff, the prizes, what happens? So like I said, there's 1 grand prize picture winner, and that winner will receive a $500 NAC sponsorship for National Health Center Week 2017. So it's really an awesome prize that goes right back to the health center that you've designated, the health center that you're supporting, and it enables you to host some awesome events for 2017. You organizing a health fair, or a back-to-school event, or anything, you can use those funds to support your Health Center Week event. You'll also get a copy of the 2017 Health Center's calendar. And your picture, if you're the grand prize winner, will be featured on the cover and in 1 month of that calendar. Then you'll also get a 2016 National Health Center Week t-shirt, so you can show your pride. And then 11 picture runner-ups will receive a canvas printout of your picture submission, a copy of the 2017 Health Center's calendar, and you'll have 1 month in that calendar, and then a 2016 Health Center Week t-shirt. So some pretty cool stuff. And then in terms of the videos, it's similar. The winning video, the grand prize video with the most votes will get, again, a $500 NAC sponsorship for National Health Center Week, a 2016 National Health Center Week t-shirt, and of course we'll feature your video on the homepage of our website. And then the one video runner-up will receive actually a $250 NAC sponsorship and a 2016 Health Center Week t-shirt. So really great prizes, and like I said, it gets pretty competitive, so if you can get to be the grand prize winner, which takes a lot of votes, but again is a really great exercise to do in your community, you can get some real benefits. So go ahead and mark your calendars. There's a submission via online form that will be open on Monday, August 1st at 12 a.m. And then again, like I said, it ends on Wednesday, August 31st at 11:59. So really try to get your submissions in as soon as you can so you don't rush at the last minute. And then voting, the voting period is September 6th through September 9th. So that's when you'll be able to vote yourself, but also be encouraging people to submit their vote. And then we'll be announcing the winners on Monday, September 12th. So I'm going to pass it over to my colleague Dorian now, who's going to give you some tips because I think it's really important to be thinking about a little bit strategically about what kind of picture and what kind of video you want to put together and what's going to really make your picture and video stand out among the rest. So I'll pass it over to Dorian, and then also just a plug, if you guys have any questions, please do put your questions in the chat box, and we'll make sure to get to them.
I hope you can hear me. This is Dorian Wanzer. I'm the Grassroots Advocacy Manager for Communications and Outreach, and we are going to go over what makes a good picture or video and what's good enough to win. Just briefly, you know, this year, again, we're celebrating the innovations of health centers. That's the theme. And it's kind of a good guiding theme for what you might submit for your picture or video. You want to think about, you know, creative ways that your health center is addressing the community, the needs of your community, and shortages in the workforce, funding, anything that really showcases your, you know, your unique innovation. You can also highlight, you know, regular activities that your health center does that set you apart, and also your actual Health Center Week celebrations are something to think about as well. So just, you know, obviously the ball's in your court. You can kind of, you can be creative the way that you want to be, but definitely, you know, those pictures and videos that really come out and kind of show something unique and new and different that a health center is doing will definitely, you know, kind of be at the top of our list. So keep that in mind. So as far as tips for winning photos and videos, and actually before I get into this, I wanted to give you guys an example of last year's winning video, which came from Southwest Community Health Center in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and it was submitted by Bethany Gordon, who I'm not sure if she's actually on the call right now, but I'm going to share this with you guys, and it should appear in the chat box. So once you receive it, you will have to click on it and for it to play, obviously, but you should have the link. So it has been shared now, and I see it in the chat box, and it's starting to play for me, so hopefully it is for you. And if you just take a few minutes, you can see the video and check it out and see some of the things that made it really stand out and made it last year's champion. And if you do have any questions about it, or if you haven't received the video, please put that in the chat box as well, and I'll be sure that you get it. And I'm just going to give you guys a few minutes to watch it. Okay, everyone. So hopefully you've had a chance to see the video. I was hoping that, hold on, let me see if I can stop it here. Okay, I was hoping that we would be able to have Bethany, who submitted that winning video, speak quickly, and I'm just trying to find if she is on the line. So if you could just bear with me 1 second, that would be great.
Bethany, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Excellent.
Okay,
Great.
perfect. I'm glad we got it figured out. Yeah, so thank you for having me. My name is Bethany Gordon, and I'm from Southwest Community Health Center in Bridgeport, Connecticut. So for the video, we mainly wanted to focus on our health fair that we hold annually for the National Health Center Week. And I really just wanted to fit the theme like you were saying before. I believe last year's theme was celebrating the 50th anniversary. So just wanted to use different clips to show our different departments in the health center that are working together and having fun in the community with all of our partners that we invited and community vendors as well, that we offer different blood pressure screenings and glucose screenings. We also have our school-based health centers there. Nutrition staff is there, and I think like you've probably seen in the video, unfortunately I'm not part of the webinar, just on the phone, but yeah, in the video we had our nutrition staff working and all of us working together. So it was really a fun time and just really wanted to show everybody celebrating and making the best of the day. As far as the video content, I wanted to use different cameras. I thought it would be neat to have different types of angles and lighting. So I don't know if you've noticed, but for most of the camera use, I just use a regular Nikon camera to shoot that. But then I also wanted to use a GoPro camera as well, just to get different angles and different lighting to it. And I also wanted to speed it up and slow it down and then just keep the video to about 2 minutes maximum, just so it's not dragging on for too long. But yeah, so as far as the different content with the video, we just decided to use different clips of that and then put a song to it that I used with GarageBand, just to shorten the length of the song. In terms of promoting, I basically used social media throughout that entire week. It was a pretty crazy week, just posting on our Instagram pages, our Facebook and Twitter, just blasting to different people in the community, and we also mentioned it to friends and partners of Southwest Community Center as well, that we were in the contest, so if they wanted to pass the information along, and just so that way everyone can kind of hear about it. We also sent out a staff email that I'm sure they've passed along to friends and family as well. So I can't stress enough with the promoting throughout the week, though, on the social media and just even personally contacting people through Messenger, and that kind of seemed to work out the best, was just personally asking people online and in person. It worked out really well, and we'd mention it to any meetings that we'd hold at the Health Center. But yeah, so that's basically what worked for us, and we're excited to be a part of it again this year. We were thinking of maybe trying to focus on the picture this year instead of the video, but we'll see what happens.
So, Bethany, one of the questions that has come through was somebody had mentioned that they noticed the event that the video was on had taken place outside, and asked, did you need to get a release form for all the individuals that were featured in that video, since it was kind of a public health fair event?
Yes. For all the people that were in the video, they mainly got the photo release forms, especially if it featured their face. If it was just kind of like a group setting, you know, in the clips where they were dancing, or if it just kind of seems like a faraway distance. But if it was, I believe I had 2 girls doing cartwheels, and if it showed any part of their face that was actually full on the clip, then I would give them a photo release form and have their parents sign it, and just keep it on hand. And I believe we also sent it in to you guys as well.
Okay, great. Yes, thank you for responding to that. And if you have any other questions for Bethany or for any of us, please put them in the chat box. But we appreciate your time, Bethany, and thank you for contributing.
Sure, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Definitely, definitely. So I just want to piggyback off a couple of things that before getting back into the slides that Bethany did say. She had mentioned promotion on social media, and I will say that last year was one of our biggest years as far as social networking and tweeting and social media participation. But in particular, their Facebook page and Twitter page were extremely active that week, and they definitely, you know, kind of pulled out all the stops to make sure that people knew that they had submitted a video, and to make sure that people were voting for it. So it does, you know, so on that end, as far as, you know, winning and getting the word out there, it does take some extra effort, but it's just one week. It doesn't have to be every day that you do it, but you do have to kind of, you know, self-promote and pump up what you've submitted. So please keep that in mind. But just to continue going through some of the tips for winning photos and videos, remember that action shots are great. You know, I think, you know, everybody kind of loved a great candid or an action shot that captures somebody in the moment, and especially, you know, in relation to health centers, there's a lot of, you know, great things to see, a lot of people working together and good moments to capture. You can take a picture of a patient who's receiving services at your health center. Remember, you will need to get a release form. And, you know, you could also take pictures of a health fair or a video similar to the video submitted by Bethany. And another great idea is to capture those moments when you may have an elected official coming down to your health center and visiting and fellowshipping with some of your patients and staff. I think that when it comes to, and as Alex had mentioned a little bit earlier, you know, when you take photos, you definitely want to try to get a landscape shot, because if you happen to win and it is featured in the calendar, it's going to be in that format. So just keep that in mind. The other thing is always, you know, consider the environment where you're, you know, filming or taking a picture. You know, if you've got wonderful film skills and you're able to, you know, work in different environments, that's great. But if you know, you're kind of new to it and you're trying to do the best you can, you may want to, you know, make sure you're in a properly lighted area, make sure that you've got some natural light, and, you know, and try to avoid having, you know, those background distractions in your photos that may take away from the actual image or picture. So, you know, don't be afraid to kind of play photographer and say, you know, hey, move this way, move that way. You know, you want to make sure that it's as great as you can make it. And then, of course, if you visit our website, the Health Center Week website, you can actually see an example, but you definitely want to avoid overly bright or dark pictures or videos. You want to definitely, lighting is everything, you know, that can make or break a picture, so keep that in mind. If you are planning to do a documentary style video or something where you're going to be interviewing somebody and they're you know, like a 60-minute style type thing, definitely make sure that you have it positioned properly so that, you know, we can see the person that you're interviewing. You want to make sure that you're filming them from the shoulders up and make sure that they're on one side of the frame instead of just the middle. And then, of course, following that, you definitely want to make sure that you have your sound figured out. You know, you could have the best video in the world, but if the voices are muffled or if the music is muffled or things like that, you know, the message doesn't come across as clear. So please keep that in mind when you're filming. Another thing I do want to touch on as far as videos and sounds and things like that I don't know if it's mentioned here is that if you happen to use, if you happen to do a video where you're using music, like let's say you want to use the Temptations or something like that and you have your video, you need to make sure that you're crediting that artist or whoever you're, you know, using as the background music, because sometimes if you've created a video and then we put it on YouTube, the licensing will, you know, if you haven't credited that artist, then it won't play. So we won't be able to see your video, or the sound won't come on as it's supposed to. So just keep that in mind. You want to make sure, you know, just as the old saying goes, make sure you give credit where credit is due, so that, you know, so that we can definitely view your videos. The other thing is definitely just, you know, take time to think about the story that you want to tell. You know, you can, like I said earlier, you can be creative. You know, you can use firsthand accounts from patients. You know, maybe you can interview board members, you know, asking elected officials their health center experience or their connection to your health center. But you know, really try to shine a light on the community and think about, you know, your health center story within the fabric of your community. The other thing is as we mentioned earlier, the videos must be no longer than 3 minutes. If you have a video that's longer than 3 minutes, you know, it just can't, you know, it's not going to be in the final round, even if it's the most fabulous video ever. So please keep that in mind. And then, of course, the last thing, and I said this more than once, but definitely be creative, have fun with it. You know, last year we got all the videos and pictures were awesome, but the really kind of funny ones stuck out to me. People, you know, kind of put themselves out there, and it's always good to kind of do something a little bit different against the grain. So, you know, be creative, think outside the box, and just have fun with it. And, you know, that's what really shines through and will make you a picture and video contest champion. I guess I will go ahead. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention, and I don't know if she's on the line, but we do have another individual, Emily Federhoff from Hudson River Healthcare. I just wanted to mention that they are doing their own picture and video, or excuse me, their own picture contest, and they're going to use some of the submissions to kind of feed into our contest, and it's kind of their own way of promoting their Health Center Week planning and events within their community, but also contributing to the contest as well. So I just wanted to shout them out and give you, and it might be an idea that some of you can take away from this. I am going to skip this slide because we already saw the video and this one, and pass the ball over.
Thanks, Dorian. So now that we've gone through all of the ins and outs of the contest, let's think about National Health Center Week. It's about 3.5 weeks away at this point. Are you ready? So aside from the contest, we really encourage you to post your events on our national listing. You may remember in the past we've had a password that you needed to use. This year that is gone, so posting is even easier. There are a bunch of benefits for posting your events on our website. Obviously, public visibility, visibility with congressional offices who will come to check the website to see what's going on because both staff and members will be back in district for the August recess. But the other thing that's probably the best benefit to you is that there is a potential for sponsorship. And this year we have a record number of sponsors nationally for National Health Center Week. And the only way that we can pair those national sponsors with local events is if we know what events are going on across the country. So please do post as much information as you have at this point. All the details don't have to be nailed down. You just have to put in as much as you know, and there is a way for you to go back in and edit if there are changes or additions that you need to make. But please help us reach our goal of over 1,700 events across the country this year. Hopefully we'll have another record-breaking National Health Center Week. So please, please, please post your events. And we'd be remiss if we didn't mention our Advocate Recruiting Challenge, 100K in 100 days. And that is our challenge to health centers across the country to help us reach 100,000 advocates in our network. And that is going on through the end of August. It's about 100 days from when we launched it back in May. And the point of this is to really bolster our network, to make sure that we have as many people as possible engaged and involved in the health center movement and in advocacy, so that when something comes down the pike, I'm thinking specifically of next year's health center funding cliff and other things that we'll be up against in the coming months and years, we have as many people as possible that are ready to take action and act on behalf of health centers and carry that message to the Hill and other policymakers. When you think about it, 100,000 advocates is really an achievable goal. We serve over 24 million patients. There are about 180,000 staff members at health centers nationally. So please, please do everything you can to help recruit your colleagues, your community members, patients, family, friends, anybody that has a stake or is involved in some way in the health center movement. Get them plugged into our network and help us reach 100,000 advocates. In addition to more information and the rules about the contest, we have a ton of resources and templates available for you on the Health Center Week website, and that is www.healthcenterweek.org. There is a media toolkit and templates that you can use for press releases. There are talking points, op-eds, letters to the editor, all those good things. Information on sponsorships and how to go about seeking those at the local and state levels. Event ideas. There are some template proclamations and resolutions, and then obviously photo, video, and story collection that are separate from the contest, but we still, even if you're not going to submit to the contest, we still do love hearing what you've been up to during National Health Center Week. As well, we have the National Health Center Week store. There are posters and banners available in both English and Spanish. There are some other goodies. You can see the hand sanitizer, the fans, water bottles. There are some Frisbees, all kinds of great stuff. And most of it you are able to customize with your Health Center Week, or I'm sorry, with your Health Center logo. You can see on the T-shirt at the top there, your organization's logo would go on the front chest pocket there. But do check that out. Be sure to get your orders in soon so that it can be shipped to you in enough time to arrive for your Health Center Week event. And just another big thank you to our contest sponsors. We're so lucky and thankful to have them partnering with us on these contests this year. And again, that's Welch Allyn and NextGen. And all the rest of our National Health Center Week sponsors. There are a record number this year. We're so very fortunate to have great partners at the national level. And hopefully we can plug them into some of your events if you post them on the website. And of course, our partners in Health Center Week, the National Center for Health and Public Housing, National Health Care for the Homeless Council, National Council for Farm Worker Health, VIP, and RHCN. So that is all we have for you today. We absolutely encourage you and welcome you to contact us. Feel free to email grassroots@nac.com with any questions, whether that's specific to the contest or not, if you need help with the website. And please do let us know if a member of Congress confirms attendance at your event. We do track that for Health Center Week purposes, but also for the purpose of awarding congressional awards every March. We do, make sure that we keep track of who's been out to a health center, who's been involved in the community, that kind of thing. And if you have specific questions about sponsorship, you can email Amanda Pierce-Kelly, our National Advocacy Director, and there's her contact info. But I think for now, we will open it up to questions. And let's see. Can we post flyers on the website? Unfortunately, the website that we use does not allow you to attach anything, so we can't post flyers. If there's a way that you can post that on your website and link to it, you can add the link in your posting, but unfortunately there's nothing, you can't attach anything to your post, and that is just a function of our website. Feel free to type any other questions in the chat box. All right, well, I see none, so that doesn't, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. If you think of something, like I always do, the minute that you log off, feel free to email grassroots@nac.com and we'll get back to you. But otherwise, good luck with your Health Center Week planning and good luck with the contest. We hope to see your submissions come through starting on August 1st. Have a good afternoon, everyone. Take care.